Hello there, going to get started. This one was popping up. You have to be very careful whenever you pull them out. So big. Look how big this is. So this is a pawpaw plant. This is huge actually. I don't even know if I want to put these in there. I'll put it in there. You want to go in here or your own? I asked them. You want to go in here? You want to go in your own? So this one wants to go into its own. So I'm going to set that down gently and start back up and just getting some of these really big rooty ones. So we got these as seeds and they will turn into trees, won't you? Yes, you want to turn into trees? Yes. I've never eaten a pawpaw actually. I just noticed my lower back was slouching. You just have to be aware of your body whenever you're doing these kinds of things, because you just kind of get in the mindset of just like focus on my job, focus on like what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's not, I'm not gonna say it's right or wrong, but it's not being in your body. It's being in your mind of, oh, I've got to get this done now. Look at this. Each of them are so unique. They're all planted on the same day, and it's just like nature has so much to teach us about that. It's like we all grow different ways, different shapes, and none of it's right or wrong. And some of them don't even sprout, and they're where it's supposed to. There's just so much lessons in nature that she just not even teaches us. She just shares it with us, and it's up to us, like, whether we want to receive. So thanks for being here, planting pawpaw seeds with me. So these germinated really fast, and we didn't, this is a farm that I'm working on called Wild Song. It's in New York State, not the city, and it is a Gaian sanctuary, and I am one of the land stewards. Plant mama. Like, look how small this seed was. You saw this big root. Okay, so what happens is this is their taproot. So this is like going down into the ground. We're putting them in the bigger pots because we the field wasn't ready to put them out in the field. So they, because they're getting so long, we're gonna have to let them set for like another month before they get their true leaves. And so we're just giving them more soil to grow their true leaves, so that whenever we put them out into the field, they will be able to grow and to be trees. It takes about 6 years for them to become trees. Look at the roots on this one. Hello, little tree, you're gonna be a tree. It takes about 6 years for the fruit to come. They've been doing this for a few years now. Hopefully we'll get some fruit from the trees this year, because I would love to try one. I talked to my grandma, and I guess like these used to grow wild where she lived in Ohio, and She said that she didn't like them much. She said they tasted like not good bananas. So I'm really looking forward to trying them. I also make kombucha, so I'm excited to do a pawpaw kombucha if they're good. Right now I have 2 different flavors that are fermenting. I have mango chili and elderberry nettle osha. So right here in front of me, this is, hi, the nettle saying hi. That's stinging nettle. Yes, it's one of my favorite plants. I do micro nettling, I call it, where you get a piece of the plant. They're really sharp and anti-inflammatory, but I like brush it on my face because it brings the blood to the surface and circulation, aids in circulation, and it's anti-inflammatory. It's just amazing. Look how big this one is. So yeah, I'm just tucking all of these into the pot of dirt. I would just I kind of pack them in tight because and just kind of do it like intuitively of how they, not tight, but like an inch between each seed. But yeah, let me know if you've ever tried PawPaws. It's PAW. We're kind of like reviving, and they're cold hardy, the trees are, because it gets really cold up here in the winter. I just spent my first winter up here last year, and it was cold, and some days it was like negative, like the wind chill was negative 25. Never been in that cold. I just moved from the Southwest, and it was not that cold there, but I needed to balance my compass from Southwest to Northeast, and so I think that's what I'm doing here. I don't quite know. I go where my soul tells me to go. And that has led me to some really incredible places throughout my life. And I'm sure it will lead me through too many more that I can't even fathom. I really never thought I would like live up here in New York. I don't, if you saw my roomie video, I actually tried to move up here 13 years ago. And so feels like it's kind of like not full circle, but like you have to be really careful whenever you're pulling these heads out, because these little heads right here, this one's not as fragile, this one's pretty thick, but they can be really fragile. And then if you snap the taproot, then it won't grow, and you just have to. I'm making a tincture out of it, because what's crazy is the owner told me that pawpaw seeds are actually like the chemical component for chemotherapy. Like, so, because like all pharmaceuticals are plant-based, they just, like the chemists and the alchemists, they just concentrated their magic, their power, their vital life force of the plant in order to like heal faster. So I'm making a tincture. I don't want to say amateur herbalist, but I'm an herbalist, but not a clinical, more like a folk medicine maker. And so I don't know if that's a seed or mulch. Yeah, so the dirt in here is just a little bit of peat moss, organic soil, organic potting mix, and some mulch. Where was I? What was I talking about? Yeah, pay attention to your back, to your body when you're doing this. I'm glad to like be sitting down in the shade, and also just trying to be aware of my body. As I'm just like bent over, hunched over. And oh, pharmaceuticals. Folk medicine. Yeah, and that's where I'm at right now. I've been on this plant path for like 10 years now, I would say. 10 years ago in 2016, I did a 5-ceremony Aya retreat. I had researched for 3 years because like she was calling me, and that plant was calling me, and so I like heard all these horror stories. So I was like, I want to find, you know, like a really, you know, like in alignment with my values place. And I did. The woman's name is Dawn Dancing Otter. She's Canadian. She doesn't hold that space anymore, but she did in outside of Iquitos, Peru, and so I went there and spent almost a month there. And during one of my journeys, I saw like all these hemp leaves, and we had done a jungle walk that day because like we were like not living with the Shipibo people, but it was like all Shipibo, and we were and during, I think it was the 4th ceremony, where like my visuals were like a laser light show. And so it was just like all these hemp leaves, weed leaves. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. And then 9 months later, like my lease was, I was living in Tennessee, my lease was expiring on my apartment. And I was like, I need to like go somewhere else. And so I moved to the Southwest. I had never been there before. I'd lived in the Pacific Northwest. I lived in Southern California, and I was back in Tennessee. And so like that's where I did grad school in Southern California and my undergrad in the Pacific Northwest. And so I was like, okay, I haven't been here. It's like, I love South Park, so I want to like see South Park, like where it's at, and like just go to the Southwest, go to New Mexico. I got called to New Mexico, and so I started working at a greenhouse there, and in Colorado, and during the winter, we grew CBD for seeds, and like 4,000 plants. This was a really big greenhouse, and we grew CBD for seeds. And it was like whenever the CBD boom, and like everybody invested, and lots of people lost a lot of money because they didn't know what they were doing, and investors told them it was going to be like the next cash crop. And it was just like, it was really heartbreaking, like what happened and how that went down, because it could have changed a lot of things. Like animals used to eat, like livestock animals used to eat CBD, and because all animals and humans have cannabinoids in their body, cannabinoid receptors, and so they would feed them CBD. But when hemp was outlawed in I think the 1930s to compete with cotton, the whole rabbit hole. It's not even a rabbit hole. It's an anthill that like we are very well aware of. And so I, asked if I could use the biomass because they were just getting the seeds, and so there was just like all this leftover biomass plant material. He was like, yeah, take as much as you want, and there was like tons, literal tons of it. It was 4,000 plants, and we were just like processing the seeds, and so that was my first tincture with CBD, and that was like 2017, and so I've just been acquiring knowledge and working like deeper with plants every year. I haven't worked with trees before, and so this is part of like my like journey here is like working with the trees, and so like planting these pawpaws and being like a steward to them and just learning about them, all of their medicinal properties and just like their greatness is new. And I have like a beginner's mind with it, which is, I think, is like really important, that like humans always, I hope I always like keep that beginner's mind, because like we don't know everything. We like our ego, like our conditioned personality wants to know everything, and like we know, sure, we know a lot. We know some things, but it's like, like we don't know everything, and we don't have to know everything, and it's okay not to know everything. But so like this one has barely, I don't know if you can see, it's not pumped out. So I'm putting that in a separate tray and not in this pot so that it can grow out more. So we'll either put it directly in the field or it'll just wait more. Alright, well, thanks for listening and hearing like my journey, my story. I don't know what this channel is gonna be. It's just my thanks for exploring with me. Remember, all people are human, but all humans are people.